I want to thank you all who have wished me happy birthday on Facebook. And I have to say, today has to be the 4th birthday in the 50 years that I've been alive. And I've got a video to show you, and I'm smiling because I just can't believe what is going on with my dad. So I hope you'll watch this. I hope you'll share it, you'll tweet it, because this is the medical system we have pre-Trump. And the fact is, when Trump Care comes into power and happens, and my father has the best insurance in America. He has the best Medicare, and he has TRICARE, which covers everything else. You know, he has amazing health insurance. And if this is what's happening with the best, I wish everyone luck out there. So watch this, me in action today on my birthday, dealing with this madness. Thanks. And please share, please tweet, and who knows? Maybe this can bring good, even though it's such a messed up situation today. Thanks. So this is our screwed up medical system that's going on. You know, my dad fell 2 weeks ago and busted his shoulder, and now is in rehab after spending a weekend in an emergency. And he also, the week before, has been diagnosed with level 4 clock scale melanoma on his foot. Level 4 means it's deep. It could be, they don't know, it could be at his bone, it could access to his lymph nodes and everything else. So, Moffitt, which is the Cancer Institute in Tampa, which is the best cancer hospital that we have down here, is very eager to see him to basically see if he has it in his lymph nodes and everything else. So because he's in a rehab, okay, Medicare won't cover the diagnosis for the PET scan, which is life-threatening, but the rehab is not. That's just, you know, that's just a broken arm. So he's being denied the care, you know, the test he needs because of double billing bullshit. So I'm here now at Florida Cancer Institute to see what we can figure out. So this is Florida Cancer Institute, and I'm going to talk to the lady there about it.
$795. No, $795. 66. Oh, I'm sorry.
My father's supposed to have an appointment today, okay, Thomas Trout.
All right, give me a second, let me pull him up.
Okay, but he's in rehab across the street.
Give me 1 second, let me pull him up.
All right.
1 second.
So he's in rehab, and something about double billing with Medicare,
Okay.
or something. But he also has TRICARE too. So if Medicare won't cover it, you know, I don't know if push it through to TRICARE because they always cover what Medicare doesn't cover. But Moffitt, he's going to Moffitt next week, and they want the CD for the consult because he's got, you know, it's level 4 Clark, you know, cancers, you know, which means it's deep.
They want the CD of this
The PET scan, right, for the consult.
Right.
So
right back here, there's a building behind to us, and they'll be able to get you the CD for you.
I know, but he hasn't. But the issue is, they're saying that he can't have the appointment today,
Right.
because of the double billing on the Medicare, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, this is more life-threatening than his fractured arm.
Right.
So if it means us, go ahead.
Hey, I have Mr. Thomas Trout's son out here. He was supposed to have had a...
Or get. It's at
He was
1:30.
supposed to get a scan. But I guess really needs to talk to you regarding the insurance benefits of it. Okay, thank you. All right, bye.
May 14th. And it's Thomas Trout. I mean, everything was fine before.
Okay, here is the thing.
So this is the denial, what it
Received a
says.
call from Life Care. Patient is in skilled nursing facility and cannot have scan until that's discharged.
So that's from Life Care. Why is Life Care so it's not Medicare? It's Life Care calling.
Well, they won't pay for it with They will not pay for it with...
Well, they're not billing out for Medicare. You'd be billing out for Medicare. It's not coming through them. It's coming for you.
We can't, they won't pay us. They won't pay us that way.
How do you know?
If it's in a skilled nursing facility, they won't pay us.
So how does someone who get diagnosed with cancer in a skilled nursing facility on Medicare get the diagnosis? Because he also has TRICARE, which covers Medicare. So if Medicare doesn't cover it, why wouldn't TRICARE, his military insurance, pick it up?
That would be my argument right there. That would be my argument.
Yeah. Because Medicare only covers him for 20 days. TRICARE covers him for another 80 days at that place.
Carol's at lunch, so you could either hang out here,
Yep.
or you know, however you want to
Yeah,
do
I
it.
can hang out here. When she'll be back in?
She just went to lunch, so
Okay.
probably another 20 minutes.
Okay.
Hey,
So, going back to my first question, so why not, if I check him out of there, he's no longer in rehab. Why wouldn't that work?
I don't know.
Because, the issue is double coverage. Well, we can check him out of there. And I know because I admitted him, we have 30 days to check him back. So I check him out, get the care, check him back in. I don't understand why, on paper, if it's a paper thing for Medicare, why we can't work here and there to put, to make it so he can get the scan that he needs.
Exactly.
Instead of denying it and putting it off, and that and that potential that cancer getting worse.
You can hang out in here if you
Okay.
want. Let me.
So you see what I'm saying? If it's a paperwork issue, it's simple. On their books, they have him checked out. On their books, they have him checked in, and really then we check him back in. And ultimately, you're following the paperwork and you're giving the patient the thing that he needs. So this is what makes you don't have this crap in Japan. You really don't. And my father has the best insurance. He has TRICARE. And like you heard me say, Medicare only covers him for 20 days. TRICARE covers him for another 80 days for a private room in a rehab facility. So, yeah. And that was the other thing I stated. Well, if Medicare is not going to cover it, why won't TRICARE, the military insurance, cover it? Here's another issue. These guys over there don't want to lose my dad, who's basically a fat patient, right? Fat meaning, has good insurance. So they don't want to see him going and checking out, because I was like, well, just check out. And they're like, oh, so they're fighting me to not let him check out over just a fractured arm. It's ridiculous. That's in a sling that ultimately, like I said, is not life-threatening, whereas the cancer is. Oh, man. It makes me so angry. And what makes me angry even more so is the fact that all this cancer probably could have been avoidable if his doctor, which is Suncoast Dermatology, which actually is just over there, had done their job right. Because in the 20 years that my father was visiting them, they never did a full body check. Just glanced over him. Okay, you're fine, go. And only because my dad was complaining about the PA, his name Brian, wasn't taking care of an issue on his butt, that I said, well, Dad, why don't we just go somewhere else? If that's the issue. And we did. You know what? We went to a place called Bayderm, and the woman there, unlike the doctor, because when I was talking to the Masulas, and he's a representative now for the area, for the state. Probably a good thing, because he's not a very good doctor. Or the people that he has aren't very good. So the woman said to me on the phone, she says, well, we can't check a patient unless they give us approval. And I'm thinking, what? You go to your annual checkup and you're not going to check your, request to check your patient? You're going to wait for them to ask you for you to check them? It's like going to a dentist and saying, I'm not going to look in your mouth unless you tell me that I can look in your mouth, right? Same thing. So the difference is, Bayderm, we went there, And the woman said, okay, I would like to give you a full checkup. Is that okay? You know, that's a different way. So technically speaking, the patient must give approval, but in this case, the doctor's proactive, or the PA is proactive, and she gave a thorough checkup. And my dad had something on the arm, if you watch my other video, that had had it for years, and I'd noticed it for years. And she was like, it's odd. Let's just check that too, right? It doesn't look right. And it turned about atypical, which means like a cancerous growth. It wasn't melanoma, but it was atypical growth. And that's something that Brian had been staring at for years and never checked. And she found something. And now they found something on the inside of the toe, which I think she missed last time because she didn't remember he was sitting down, and she never picked up the foot and looked under it. She just kind of looked over the toe, looked over it and looked up in these other places. So, and the irony too, or not irony, that my father was so thankful that they found the melanoma before, that he went back, and that's when they found melanoma again. And I called, I talked to the doctor. I said, I don't get it. You guys just can't, Masula, this is Suncoast. You guys are just incapable of finding cancer, because my father's basically, they found cancer 2 times, and it wasn't your office. It was him going outside your office for a second opinion, and they find cancer, and he's been coming here for 20 years, and you haven't been able to find any cancer, and you've never given him, never gave him a checkup, so, to look for cancer. and the thing is that even after they did the removal and stuff, they still didn't do a full over in Methula. And the very last time when I pointed, I said, well, maybe we should give him a full, look over. Duh. I think you should give him a full look over. You should have given him a full look over every year that he's been going, right? At least once a year. If you're paying for that appointment, do what they did in Bay Durham, put you in a thing and give a full look over, and see what you have, and check the hair, check the ears, check the mouth, check the tongue, check everything, check the whole body for melanoma, because it can sprout out anywhere. So it's very frustrating because of and my feeling is that Suncoast was negligent in their job, and Bay Durham found it, and now he hurt his arm, and he can't get the PET scan that he needs. That's supposed to be in 30 minutes from now, because he's got to go to the Moffitt, and they're like, bring the CD next week for Moffitt. So I had to wait another week or so, or whatever, for removal of this melanoma that's growing, that can spread, that can hit lymph nodes anytime. It's, it's just ridiculous. So the rehab people have convinced my dad that he should stay here. So listen to this. You heard of Medicare double billing? This is my beautiful friend Linda.
Oh, hi.
Unfortunately, she's already taken. So I'm videotaping a documentation of the crap that's going on. He's got melanoma on his foot.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Medicare won't cover the $1,800 scan that Moffitt wants next week, because he's in here, and they don't want to. And they basically are fighting to check him out. Why? Because he's a fat patient. They're getting a lot of money from his. They don't want to check him out until he's better. This is not a critical. But the melanoma, as you know, is life-threatening. But the fracture. So they have convinced him, because they went to him in rehab and said, "Oh, Mr. Trout, you should stay here." And so even though I figured out a solution, which was basically check him out on Monday at 9. 24 hours Tuesday, he gets the PET scan. 24 hours Wednesday, you bring him back here, and the paperwork's clean. He gets the PET scan. I can take him to Moffitt. We get the thing. But because they've convinced him, he's like, no, I just want to stay here and get my arm fixed, and then we'll deal with it. So we're going to stay here, for a month or two or whatever, up to 100 days. And they're milking his insurance. They're going to keep him here as long as they can, in my feeling.
Well, too, I mean...
Yeah, on that.
And there's no...
Yeah, they fought me. I said, well, I've got power of attorney. I said, well, the guy was like, well, is he mentally incompetent, right? Well, the doctor said, of course not. The doctor, so it's like, well, this is what you want to do, but he'll be really happy to see you.
What are the... Have you spoken with the oncology people, who referred him to Moffitt?
Not yet. Why? What are you thinking there?
I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe they have.
Yeah, I'm going to call Moffitt and say, listen, the rehab place are refusing to check him out. right?
I mean, is
because
he-
of double Medicare billing, and he's not ready to get checked out. So I can't bring him to the appointment. I'm really sorry.
I mean, so like, is he able to? Would you be able to transport
Yes,
him?
sure.
In,
They
like,
just don't want him to leave.
but he can get in and out of the vehicle.
Well,
and
we haven't
everything?
tried that, but sure. I think with help, he's standing up and sitting down and doing all
Uh-huh.
that stuff. So
I mean, like, yeah, it seems crazy that they would want him to.
Well, it's
But I get I get what's going on. But I think that your solution makes sense. But
Yeah.
you'd have to have him home.
yep for one night.
But so, would you have any help at home for
Well,
him?
I have Robert to call. I have John. I got myself. I've got a network of support if I really need it. It's just one. I mean, it'd be like a 2-night out away.
Uh-huh.
I'm not concerned.
You're not.
No.
I'm just asking because
No,
like.
I'm not really concerned. My thing is I want to get my dad, well, use the old PetScan. I was like, it has a date on it. They want a
Yeah.
new one because the old one, they said this is a new thing, and they want to know if has it got into the lymph nodes or not.
Right. If it's
He's
progressed.
like, well, I just want to stay here until I deal with one thing at a time. I don't want to deal with this other thing until I deal with this thing. It's just a defense mechanism of
Yeah, sure.
deflection.
And there's too much going on.
Yeah,
that,
too much.
Yeah.
So I understand. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So
But I
I'm headed
mean-
home.